Good Saturday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go and talk about the weather for your Saturday evening going into your future. We have a lot of stuff, mostly some of the same stuff, not really too much different, but some new stuff as well as we go into tonight. And as we always do at the beginning of these weather forecasts, number one, let's go on and see what we are going to talk about for tonight. Well, currently, we're going to talk about the current conditions. We're going to talk about the conditions for tonight, just in general. We're also going to talk about the weather conditions for tomorrow, obviously. And then we also will talk about the weather conditions for the short-term future, long-term future, and then obviously for the 3 points that you see right here on the What's on Tap screen, being an unseasonably cold weekend with low wind chills, especially as we go into tonight. We also will talk about our dry and stable pattern as it dominates through the weekend, and then temperatures remain below to near average through the weekend. Warm up next week. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight for the most part. If you have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Right now, if I go in and check, we have around a good 5 people in here and only 3 likes so far. So if you are a part of that group that not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free and you can change your mind anytime. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new. We are at 701, trying to get to 899 away from that main goal of 800 subscribers. So let's go on and look at our current radar. See what's currently going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina. Well, right now, we are nice and dry. Nothing going on right now throughout the state. And if we go in and scroll our way out, obviously all of that cannot be said for the entire U.S. as it seems like we have some snowfall going on in Wisconsin, going down inside of Chicago and Illinois. Some rainfall going on over here in eastern New Mexico, going into western Texas. We also do have some rainfall in southeastern Arizona. Some snowfall, maybe some snow flurries going on in New York. And then maybe even a good amount of rainfall definitely going on from Washington State to Oregon to Idaho to California with a mix of snow as well. Rainfall also extends out towards the east into like South Dakota areas. Now, cloud cover. Cloud cover for the night tonight looks actually relatively clear. Looks relatively clear out there. I don't really see too much in terms of cloud cover right now. Even if we want to look at our cloud cover for the future, you want to push this forward. Remember, the white is the clear skies. The blue is the cloud cover. We're going to push this forward all the way like 12 o'clock in the morning here. Nothing too crazy. We get into, this is 6 o'clock in the morning. Still cloud cover. Not really impacting us much until we get to around 8 o'clock in the morning. You have cloud cover moving into the upstate. Cloud cover also moving into the Midland areas, the PD areas, the low country. As you get to around 10 o'clock in the morning, going to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m. Going all the way to around 3 o'clock p.m., cloud cover is now taking over the entire state for the most part as you go into tomorrow. Now, if you push your way through into around 6 o'clock p.m., going into 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night, cloud cover will really start to take over by that time. And at that point, most of us, if not almost all of us, will be covered with clouds. Going all the way through to now, this is Monday morning right here, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, showing a bit of an opening, but cloud cover is still on either side of the state. Moving on to 10 o'clock in the morning, cloud cover now over in like the low country areas as you go into like the later parts of Monday morning. Also, same thing for the upstate as well. And then as you move on into like the afternoon of Monday, looks like cloud cover is still just a recurring theme over and over and over again throughout, rather be throughout the upstate, rather be throughout the Midlands, rather be throughout the PD areas, wherever it might be. That's what it looks like. Current temperatures right now, you have around a good 40 inside of Somerville, 43 in Charleston, as well as a good 46 in Beaufort, 49 in Hilton Island, and 35 in Georgetown, 36 in Myrtle Beach, and 34 in Conway, 34 in Florence, as well as 37 in Sumter, 39 in Columbia, and 36 in Lugoff, 35 in Newberry, and 37 in Greenwood, 34 Greenville, and 37 inside of Clemson, 36 Anderson, and 33 in Spartanburg, 32 in Gaffney in York, as well as Rock Hill, 33 in Lancaster as well. Now, what about for our air quality? Air quality, for the most part, looking good. Nobody is inside a moderate area. Nobody's inside of a, code orange, and healthy for sensitive groups. We're good here. Low temperatures for tonight. These are indeed your low temperatures, with low temperatures 21 and around Rock Hill, 24 in Winsboro and Newberry, as well as 24 in Lawrence, 25 Greenville, and 25 in Anderson, 24 in Greenwood, and 26 in Aiken, 25 in Barnwell, and 25 in Orangeburg, 25 also inside of Walterboro, and 28 in Charleston, 23 Moncks Corner and Georgetown, as well as Myrtle Beach, and 33 in Hilton Head Island. High temperatures for tomorrow, you have around a good 48 in Spartanburg, 49 in Greenville, as well as 44 in Rock Hill, 46 Winsboro, and 49 in Columbia, 46 in Sumter, and 43 in Florence, 42 in Sherrod, Dillon, even 43 in Myrtle Beach, 45 in Georgetown, and 47 in Charleston, 48 Hilton Head Island, and 50 Walterboro, 52 in Barnwell. Now, what about for your wind chills? Wind chills tonight will be inside of the mid-teens to maybe even some spots, the upper 20s, so that's kind of like the range of this all. And it goes from the coolest on like the eastern part of the state to more of the not so bad wind chills, but still very, very cold wind chills on the western parts of the state. So that's what we're looking at here. If you want to go and look at your location, key locations: 26 in Columbia, 22 in Charleston, 17 Myrtle Beach, 22 Greenville, 21 Spartanburg, 23 Aiken. So those are just a couple there. Rainfall not expected. No rain, no snow. No precipitation in general is expected as we go throughout the next 24 hours. Crazy score for tonight. What is the crazy score for tonight? Well, we're at an 18. Why are we at an 18? Well, number one, the cold temperatures tonight. We're going to have temperatures down in the 20s, low 20s for a good amount of us. Wind chills down into the teens. And then also, you also have a little bit some clouds, maybe like a little tiny bit of some isolated clouds maybe trying to move through, but again, it's not going to last long. It's going to stay mostly clear for most of us, or yeah, pretty much for all of us, mostly clear for almost all of us. And then I think that's pretty much about it. That's the only reason why we're inside the mild category. No major concerns at all. SPC outlook for tonight: thunderstorms are not expected tonight, tomorrow, or even on Monday. So we are good in terms of thunderstorm activity. Fire weather conditions, excessive rainfall, we're all good here. So let's go on now and look at the short-term future. Well, we're going to start off here at the 9 o'clock p.m. time frame here on February the 7th, tonight, obviously. And if you go and push this forward, you can see you go all the way to 12 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3. And, you just look at this as we continue our way forward all the way to 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. No rainfall. That's one thing that you see. You notice that there's no rainfall all of tonight, all of tomorrow, and we just said that. I just said that there was going to be no precipitation over the next 24 hours or so. Even as you move into around 12 o'clock in the morning on Monday, we still stay, for the most part, relatively dry. Then as you go into around like 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday, going into 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, you start to see some isolated shower activity, maybe trying to move into the western low country a little bit. Now that goes all the way to around 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m., maybe even to 1 o'clock p.m. We have some rainfall moving throughout those western areas, but other than that, we remain dry. Now for the long-term future, including temperatures, stuff like that, we're going to start off here at 7 o'clock p.m. and we're going to look at convection or moisture first. If you want to push this forward, we continue our way through, go through Wednesday. Nothing too crazy. You see mainly a little rainfall event here. You continue your way through. It looks like maybe like a little cold front maybe trying to move through as well as we go into next week, Wednesday. And that's when we're going to be our warmest. Now, if we continue our way through all the way to Saturday, 7 o'clock p.m., you see some rainfall going on throughout the upstate, maybe some isolated, and maybe a little isolated pocket of freezing rain up there. But again, that's like next weekend, so that's a bit too far out. Also, Valentine's Day does look a lot better. Yesterday it was looking like a complete washout. Now it's not looking like that anymore. But the day after may also have to be something that we're going to have to look out for the day after. I'm going into that Monday as well. Now you continue all the way through Tuesday, through Wednesday, through Thursday, and then just for the most part, I see this little system right here I may have to watch out for. And most of the models have been pointing at a little severe weather threat potentially as you go into like the 22nd, 23rd-ish or so. Maybe even a bit earlier than that. So, we have to watch out potentially for it. But that's 300 plus hours out. I'm not looking at it too hard right now because things will 100% change. as we get closer and closer to it. But, that's all fine and all. Temperatures, we're about to talk about temperatures in a second. There is something that I want to show you real quick. You may have already seen it. You may have already seen it already. But if we go right here, this goes right here into the day after Valentine's Day, in the Sunday. A lot of people have been talking about it. Meteorologists I've been seeing have been posting about it online. But as we go in and push this forward, here's 4 o'clock in the morning. There we go. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning. Look at 4 o'clock in the morning on February the 15th. Now, this is not the GFS, what we just looked up. This is the European one that we just looked up right here. And you see snowfall going on in the western parts of the state. You even see some sleet going on over there for the Midlands going on to the Low Country. And the rainfall on the bottom side. So, this is 100 to 200 hours out. Things will change here over and over again, but the Euro has been increasingly consistent on there being a winter weather event to go on throughout the state as we go into next weekend. So about just more than a week or so from now, it has this going on. But remember, just more than a week, that's way too far out. Now, if you want to look at the GFS doesn't say anything. You remember this area right here of this freezing rain area that I was just talking about like 2-3 minutes ago or so? Well, this is what the GFS has. Mostly rain, and that's it. That's all it has. Doesn't have anything else. It's gone. So a huge difference between these two models right here. Absolutely humongous change right here between the both of them. And so we'll see which one, in next weekend, which one was correct all along. But for right now, the European model is kind of showing the system right here. Now, this may be gone by tomorrow. It may be. Possibly. Right now, we're just looking for, consistency of it right now. Is it going to be trending up? Is it going to be trending down? We're not looking at specifics right now. I know you see your location on the map. I know that you see, it says we're getting snow. Oh, you should go on and talk about the totals. No, we're not going to do, talk about the totals and all that kind of stuff because, like I said, too far out for it. And then it gets out by around, like that, late Monday or early Monday time frame. And, if you want to look at is the setup favorable, it is pretty favorable. You have the low pressure down in Florida. The placement of it seems key. It seems good with it. Now, if the coastal areas, it doesn't really seem that well if you wanted snow. But, for like the Midland areas, this would be a good scenario right here if this happened. And you wanted snowfall with it. But, like I said, not going to talk too much about this, way too far out for it. And we'll talk more about this again as we go into tomorrow night as well. But one thing that I do also want to go in and talk about is our temperatures, because it will indeed be warming up. So we're going to start off here on Sunday, 1 o'clock p.m. So this is tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. You can see, for the most part, you see 50s, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll dip right back down as we get into like 4 o'clock in the morning here Monday. We'll see freezing temperatures, frigid temperatures again. Then as you continue your way forward, all the way through, here's Monday afternoon, 4 o'clock. And, this is not the main warm-up, but this is kind of setting the stage, kind of setting that precedent for what this warm-up will look like. You go all the way into 4 o'clock p.m. on Monday, like I was saying, and you see temperatures in the 50s, you see some 60s, you see some maybe mid-60s over here near Hilton Head Island, but not the main warm-up. We're going to get past, and you see lows not freezing, so that's already a good sign. Then as we get into Tuesday, this is Tuesday's high temperatures right here. You see 68, you see 70s potentially in some isolated spots, but not widespread 70. Most of us are still just inside the 60s on Tuesday. But, you see these low temperatures right here going into Wednesday morning. You see them and we're only in the 50s. Only in the 50s. But then if you go into Wednesday. Now, Wednesday did take a bit of a downtrend. Wednesday did take a bit of a downtrend. If you remember yesterday, Wednesday was looking like, oh, we're gonna have 70s and all that kind of stuff. But look, it has the cold air making it to us a bit quicker. And then as you get into Thursday morning, that cool air is already there. So it may not be as warm as what we initially thought into the 70s as we get into Wednesday, which I know is a bummer for a lot of people, but unfortunately, that's just what the model showed, and unfortunately, that's what they predicted, but it was a bit too early with them. Now, again, this is only just one model. This is only just one model. If you want to look at the European one, and we go into temperatures as well, the European one, as you go into, let's go back into Wednesday, actually has us getting into the 70s for a good amount of us, but maybe not as much, as it has that cold air kind of moving its way through as well. And then we get right back into like those below freezing temperatures again as we get through Sunday. And then as we get into the week after, though, now that week we also have the chance to see some 70s as well as we go into around, this goes into around like the week after next week. So this is Thursday, February the 19th, where we have a good amount of 70s going on throughout the state at that time. But again, how many hours out? 300 or so. So if we go on and look at the actual official forecast from the National Weather Service and what they say in terms of temperatures, let me go on to Tuesday. They still kind of believe in that 70 range. They still kind of believe in it, even though the GFS and the Euro kind of started shifting towards cool air being there a little bit earlier. I mean, this is Tuesday. Tuesday showing 70s, showing 60s for pretty much everybody else. But look at Wednesday. Wednesday, 70s for a good amount of us, 60s for a lot of other areas, but mostly 70s. So I think that they are still kind of on board for that 70 to maybe even 75-ish degree mark for a lot of us. So that's something to definitely watch out for. And that all hope is not lost. If you wanted 70s next week, all hope is not lost at all. And that's all that I have to say really in terms of the long-term future. We talked about the unseasonably cold weekend with low wind chills tonight going into tomorrow morning. Make sure that you go in and drip your faucet if you have to. Bring pets inside, bring plants inside, check on neighbors if you have to, especially elderly neighbors or disabled ones. That is definitely something that you have to keep in mind. Also, dry and stable pattern dominates through the weekend. We talked about that, how it's going to be dry until like Wednesday of next week. And then temperatures remain below to near average through the weekend, warm up next week, and we talked about all of that. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. That is not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Mr. Chris is here first. He says, good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great day. Well, I did. Thank you so much for asking. My Aunt Lou says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I pray that everyone had a great day. Well, thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris says, currently it's 41 here with a wind chill of 36. Well, thank you so much for that weather report for where you are. Right now at my house, it is currently, currently around 38, 37 now. Just dropped down to 37 not like a little bit ago. So it's dropping. Wind chills, not really present, still at 37. And then Mr. Anthony said, good evening, everyone. Mr. Chris says, we're resting now, trying to stay warm. Glad to hear that. Got to 52 here in Moncks Corner and sunny. At my house today, okay, there we go. My house today got to around 55. And so that is one thing that I will say. Temperature is kind of over-exceeded for what we thought, at least down here in the low country for where I am. Was projected to be around 50, 51. It got up to 55. So it got up to be a little bit warmer than what we originally thought at the beginning of the day. My Aunt Lewis says, currently in Georgetown, our weather is around 36 degrees, so definitely about a degree chillier than it is over here. Today was such a beautiful day, chilly and sunny. Mr. Chris says, not looking forward to freezing again. Yeah, unfortunately, that will be tonight. He also says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. Helps the channel grow and get information out. He's absolutely correct. Right now, we have around a good 17 people that have tuned in and only 6 likes so far. So if you are a part of those, let's see, like 11 people that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free. You can change your mind anytime. And it's free. It costs no money. Like $0. You will not be paying anything out of your bank account or anything out of your wallet for going on and hitting the like button or hitting the subscribe button if you're new. Georgetown was also pretty windy today. Yeah, that cold front was moving through. My Aunt Shirley says good Saturday evening to all. Pray your day has been good. Have a blessed and restful Sunday. Well, thank you so much for that. My Aunt Lewis says, I'm so glad that we will be warming up. Miss Chris says, same here. Yeah, we will be warming up next week, but maybe not as high as we thought, but the National Weather Service still thinks. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that can still happen for us. Hopefully that cold air just sits back for a little bit and doesn't make its way through earlier than what we thought. So let's go on now and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations, what are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and talk about their areas for them. So we're going to start off with San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight around 51. High temperatures tomorrow at around 77. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 54. Precipitation, not expected at this time. You will see some patchy fog as you go into tomorrow night and Monday morning. So make sure that you're watching out for that. In terms of severe weather for you and just for everybody else, because I'm pretty sure I can go in and clear everybody right now with severe weather and excessive rainfall. San Antonio is good. Raleigh is good. Pennsylvania, well, I mean, pretty much Pennsylvania is good because there's no severe weather throughout the entire state, but Philadelphia is good. And then also Duncan as well is good. Excessive rainfall. All 4 locations are good. So nothing there. Back to San Antonio, though, it will be continuing to get warmer. We were talking about how next week you'll be up in the 80s. Wednesday, 83 degrees. You will cool down a little bit, though. On Tuesday, it's down to 73. No, not terrible. Not terrible. Low temperatures around 57 that night. And then, like I said, Thursday, 84. And so it's just going to get warm, potentially even hot for some as you go into next week, middle of next week. Precipitation is possible Tuesday going into Tuesday night as well. Then what about for Raleigh? Low temperatures tonight at 18, high temperatures tomorrow at 36, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 20. Precipitation not expected for tonight, but tomorrow, especially between 11 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock p.m., there is a slight chance of snow. There is indeed a slight chance of snow as you go into tomorrow. Late morning going into like the early afternoon. So make sure that you're watching out for that. Sunday night, though, everything just cuts off there. Now, in terms of your future, looks like that you will be warming up. Like on a Wednesday, you'll have 64 as your high. But that does mean rainfall is coming. In fact, you may see rainfall for a good amount of the week next week. Wednesday, you have a chance of rain. Thursday, you have a chance of rain. Friday, you have a chance of rain. Saturday, you have a chance of rain. And maybe even a chance of rain/snow, kind of like a mix as you go into, especially seems like Thursday night, but, long, kind of a bit further out right now. So, we're going to kind of keep that under wraps for a little bit, but Thursday night, Friday morning, it's possible. Now, what about for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? You have low temperatures tonight at 4 degrees. Yes, 4 degrees. High temperatures tomorrow at 18, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 7. Precipitation not expected at this time. In terms of, your future, in terms of your weather, wind chills as you go into like Sunday night be -3, Monday be -3, so it's going to be cold, especially in terms of those wind chills. That's why you have extreme cold warnings out. Now, you also will, have your temperatures rising up to in like the high 50s, high 30s going into the low 40s. So that's a possibility. So you will actually be warming up, not too far up, but it is definitely higher than 18 degrees. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 48, high temperatures tomorrow at 75, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 45. Clouds will increase tonight. Tomorrow they will decrease right back down. Chance of rainfall on Tuesday, it seems. And then for your future, looks like that you will be kind of going down. You won't really start to feel that until you get to around Friday with the high temperature of 58. So you'll stay in the 70s for the most of the week though. And low temperatures will be slowly but steady dropping. It'll kind of be a bit high on Monday night, 57, but it will just continue to kind of just like drop its way down or kind of stay steady. And that's all that I really have to say throughout the entire 4 areas that we talk about every night. Let's go in and see what's going on right now throughout the entire U.S. Well, an Arctic cold front will impact the Great Lakes, the Northeast, and the Mid-Atlantic. Snow showers and squalls will accompany the system with increasing winds and falling temperatures. Damaging wind gusts may result in tree damage and power outages. Meanwhile, moisture returns for the Pacific Northwest and Hawaii this weekend. Both coverage and intensity of rainfall and higher elevation snow. So a lot going on right now throughout the entire U.S., especially up there inside of the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Great Lakes, to where they will be receiving wind chills, dangerous wind chills, with snow showers and squalls as well. That's the main thing that they're probably talking about right now. Freezing will go on, like in northern Florida, Georgia. Let's see, we also do have some red flag warnings for some fire concerns in western Nebraska and southeastern Wyoming. And then maybe even a little bit of a winter weather alert going on over there in Eastern California as well. So that's, I think, mainly in the higher elevations. About above 7,000 feet. So yeah, this does include some of the higher elevations as well. But that also will also include some windy conditions as well for them over there. But that's all that I can see right now throughout the entire U.S. Let me go in and check out the chat. I don't see anything else really. Mr. Chris says, everyone, please remember to stay safe, warm, and hydrated. Please check on neighbors, pets, plants, etc. Absolutely. And also pipes as well. Top fans of the night for tonight. If I go on back and check, it was seemingly a Mr. Chris victory tonight at number 1. My Aunt Lula's at number 2. And then Mr. Anthony's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. on the SC Weather channel. Also, being here early will also help you out. And also being active as well. Being a subscriber as well. Also very much help because you can't type if you aren't subscribed. That, and speaking of subscribers, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go and do so. We're at 701 trying to get to 800. If you are new, you've never hit the subscribe button before, go on and do so. Also hit the like button as well. We are right now at around 8 likes so far, and 20 people have tuned in. If you're part of the 12 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also hit the share button, share with your friends, family members, acquaintances, people that don't even talk to, because it will help us out. That, and then I think that's about all that I really have to say for tonight. So make sure that you tune back in tomorrow morning for your Sunday morning forecast update. Nothing through my email. If you want to go in and send me a picture, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is SC, like South Carolina, weather360@gmail.com. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Sunday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Saturday evening. And make sure before you leave, you hit those 2 buttons.